Shlahayim Conaway Tillicum. I have a chok flying overhead right now, so that's a great start to my day, and I hope you guys are also having a great start to your weekend. Last week, I started a 3-part series on my platform of honoring the past, serving the present, and shaping the future, to delve deeper into those specific commitments that I've been talking about and tangible objectives for elder care, education and youth, financial sustainability, and preserving culture and spirituality, all embedded in community. So, jumping right into the second video in this 3-part series, Serving the Present, I'm very excited about, has 3 points of discussion today: tribal member communication, tribal member engagement, and elder care and aging in place. Jumping right in, number 1, tribal member communication. Continue to encourage unified statements on a consistent basis on social media from the Office of the Tribal Council as a marketing/communication strategy on key issues. For example, the week prior to per capita and or other high-level decisions that are being made by Tribal Council and or boards. I think on the one hand, we've been so fortunate to have so many methods of communicating with one another, staying in touch, and on the other hand, it can be very overwhelming and messaging can get lost. We've all seen that happen. I think consistency is key, and I think a unified statement on behalf of one body helps prevent misinformation from occurring, and then those statements can be shared from there. Next, tribal resources and outreach by age, starting at birth. I think some of this is already happening. Just kind of that unified messaging. So starting out at birth, all the resources that a parent might need to have when you have a baby. Then turning 18, receiving health, medical resources, insurance information. I have 3 grown children and 1 still at home, and I know specifically for my older kids, when they turned 18, I was making them doctor's appointments and doing all of that. It's a really overwhelming time for our youth as they turn into adults, and I wasn't able to help them in a lot of situations because I didn't have access to their information and they were technically adults. So one day you're relying on those services from your parents and that help, and then the next day they were really on their own. So receiving that information, vocational rehabilitation, scholarship opportunities, financial education, voter registration forms. I know a lot of this information does come out and in different sources and in different ways, but having that information in one packet received at one time, I think would be very helpful. Then when you become a baby elder at 55 for outreach and those educational purposes as well. Even perhaps a small gift. I was thinking how nice it would be, like even a pocketbook of our tribal constitution with names of current and past tribal council representatives. I think that would be really awesome. Lastly, for tribal member communication is an idea to have a council corner on the Grand Ronde webpage with links to tribal council blogs, their Facebook pages, their personal web pages. I really enjoy those messaging that I get from tribal council members that have Facebook pages that share that messaging. I know that is happening. You've seen some of those recent blogs. They are very good. YouTube videos. Having those links and having access to those all in one location, I think would be very helpful to the membership. Moving on to tribal member engagement, number 2. I would, along that same vein that I just mentioned for the council corner, I would love to see a tribal member dashboard of sorts on the webpage for members only, with access and links to meeting minutes, the awesome enrollment reports that we just received, the Tillicum Wawa, and resources without having to request them or locate them on all the differing various pages that we have to go find access to those important papers. Also, to that degree, seeing the Tillicum Wawa specials available online and in audio format. We all spend a lot of time in our vehicles driving. I love to read, but most of my available time is spent listening. Having the ability to provide key information in audio format for elders, I believe, would also be very helpful and useful. These weekly videos I've been doing, I think, is a specific example of tribal member engagement that I personally would be committed to continuing on some level if I were representing the membership. Announcements, weekly highlights of priorities, just touching base on the work week, posting schedules, a recap of trainings, insight, travel, thoughts about various legislation being considered. I think those are some examples, and just one more method I think that would help in that strategy to aid in communication and engagement to the members. And lastly, under tribal member engagement, is to seek more advisory ad hoc committees for tribal members who want to be involved and engaged for various tribal issues. There's already an ordinance in place that supports the efforts for creating advisory ad hoc committees, and I think we have a lot of opportunities to expand outreach for members who are not engaged, who are not voting, who are not registered, and we have a lot of people that would be interested in helping bridge that gap for those members. So I have a lot of ideas there. I won't get into specifics on that, but if you're interested in that, I do have some picnics coming up. I've got flyers out and a couple of events posted. I would love to talk more about that specific bullet item in person. And last but not least, in this video, I am very passionate about elder care and aging in place. So continuing to build upon and enhance key partnerships in the community, such as local colleges and universities, practicum students and interns that need volunteer hours and credit hours for their degrees to work with our elders and students in our communities. Tutoring, technology education for elders, capturing their stories on video, exploring mentorship opportunities and what that could look like, just sharing a meal together, linking those generations and breaking down barriers between those generations. I think we have a lot of opportunity there. Exploring intergenerational housing models such as Bridge Meadows, which I've discussed before. They create and build intergenerational communities where elders, families, and youth all live together, they thrive, they support one another. I have a link to a Bridge Meadows video on my webpage if you would like to learn more about that work. And along that same vein of housing, exploring transitional housing models for elders when transitioning from independent care and living to a retirement center, assisted living, adult foster care, and then a hospice care setting when that is needed. So not just to improve the quality of life and create a thriving retirement community, but also to serve as an economic development opportunity for tribal members and families to own, lease, or work in those care facilities. Developing a community volunteer elder ambassador program, and I've touched on this before, for youth and elder mentorship opportunities, and I have people already. I've been collecting names of people who are interested in seeing this come to fruition. Community ambassadors would fill the gap for elders on various needs, whether it be technology, education, community resources, cleaning, yard work, visits to the community garden, and just general welfare checks. And lastly, for elder care is creating a social services community advocate. And this is different than the ambassador program because it's going to be more of a clinical position that help with establishing wills, advance directives, their wishes, estate planning, providing individual and family counseling, and ensuring that elder abuse is not a concern or occurring. So if you would like to reach out and talk more about any of those ideas further, please reach out to me on Facebook or email me at mcherry.co@gmail.com. And also I have a couple of events that I mentioned for picnics coming up. I would love to see you in person. Please reach out anytime. And then you can also get a sneak peek of the last video in this series, Shaping the Future, for tribal youth and creating future leaders, economic development and financial sustainability, and enrollment and membership. So visit my webpage at michaelcherry.co. Atki, have a great day.